Duelists, we have a ban list. It's deck check time. I was gonna be honest with you. I was not expecting to do any uploading today, but we finally have a ban list for the physical version of the game, and it goes into effect Monday, September 15th. Well, so let's take a look at what's going on. Oh, Jesus, glow up bulb. Well, it's been long enough for glow up bulb, really. Masterpiece, fine. Morphing jar, okay. Phantom Sky Blaster, wow. Snake Eyes, Ash, and Poplar. Yeah, Snake Eyes has no longer become the threat that it is, so they're giving it full strength. But Dragonic Diagram. Now, I want to talk about this. For a good minute, I have been saying that Draco, even with Masterpiece coming back to 1, isn't going to do anything until Diagram goes to 2. Now that it's at 3, we might see some things. Locals are going to start testing this out. 3 Lightning Storm. They really want removal. They really do want removal. And then Zodiac Barrage. Okay, so the only things that are really going to hurt are the 3 Lightning Storm. Snake Eyes, that deck is long since past its level of busted, and things are starting to look safe enough to play that deck again. So everybody who bought all the Snake Eyes, Ash, and Poplar, good job. And seeing as how things work on the semi-limited list with like Bonfire, will probably change. But let's see what's up on the deuces. So for the deuces, that's it. Branded Fusion is the only card going to 2. Well, that's because of the Chronicles right there. So, name brand deck, you got your Fusion back. The only the only card going to 2. They couldn't put Call by the Grave or Crossout Designator to 2. But that's the only one that's going to 2. All right. Before we get into the aces, the limits, there's a lot of stuff that people want in this spot through all the hot takes. I personally want to see Harpy's Featherstorm in here. A lot of people are going to say that needs to be banned. A lot of people are going to say that Drone Lockbird needs to be banned. But we're going to see exactly what's going on with the limits right now. So, X Ryzeal is, One Solemn Judgment. Oh man, that's gonna suck. So let's see. X Ryzeal. Yep, we gotta hit Ryzeal because why not? Dormouse for Malice. Okay. Rosin is going. That's for Vanquish Soul Rosin. Yep, they have to hit them. Thank goodness it didn't hit my Heavy Borger, man. That's gonna be worth money. Ladies and gentlemen, Linkuriboh is back. Linkuriboh is back. Linkuriboh has paid enough sins. It is now back in extra decks. That is a win right there. Like Fiendsmith's Lacrima, yeah, sure, we get that. Summon Sorceress going to 1, thank goodness, because, they just errated it. 1 Herald of the Arclight, though. Damn. That I have to adjust. So, let's see. That's a hit to Yummy. That's a hit to I want to say that's a hit the Drytron. My Novell's deck is definitely going to get changed. Um, Crystron inclusion is it. Sorry, Yassine. Zodiac Dryden is back. That's not gonna last. Obedient School. Okay, that hurts, but it makes sense because you know, Yummy is the best deck in the room. Stake Your Soul. That's another VS hit. All right, so the big takeaways here. One solemn judgment. One solemn judgment. All right. Uh one obedience school. That's ooh. Uh I think I'm gonna have to update Melfi. Because I used to play two obedience schools in that. One Herald of the Arc Light. That hurts. I think I got that. I think I have two copies of that in Drytron. I know I have two copies of this in Novels. Where's my Novels extra deck here? La 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 la. Yep, I have two Herald of the Arclight in my Novels extra deck, so that's fine. Uh, yeah. Crystron Inclusion again. Sorry, you seen. Like Crystron K9 has been a thing, so yeah. Stake Your Soul, and now the bands. Let's see who's gonna be happy with the bands. Paradise Smasher is Splash Mage is banned. Okay, so Paradise Smasher is no surprise. All right, that's letting K9 go into this turn zero is a problem. I mean, sure, they just reprinted this damn thing. They just reprinted this thing, and now it's banned. King of the Pharaoh Imps, that's a Mitsurugi Raizio hit. Uh, Frankly, I'm surprised they didn't go after pre-prep of rights, but it's fine. Splash Mage though, that one hurts all deck cybers. Like it's not just Malice. Uh, let's see. Adignister uses this. Some builds of Marincess use that. Yeah, like Splash Mage being banned and Moon of the Closed Heaven, that's a Fiendsmith hit. Like they're finally hitting Fiendsmith after all these years. Yeah, they sold all those copies of Fiendsmith Engraver. But people wanting Draw the Goat to be banned, that was just the dumbest thing ever. Like it was. One of the biggest things in this deck is in the game is decks doing a butt ton of searching. And stopping that to keep your opponent from getting too much advantage is just not going to happen. Moon of the Closed Heaven. That's the link to Light Fiend. That's little underworld goddess. Yeah. Bye bye. All right. So my thoughts. K9 taking a lot of hits here. Vanquish Soul and Crystron variants alike. Malice getting clapped super hard. Like Splash Mage hits them. One Dormouse hits them. You know, yeah. You know, Fiendsmith. Okay. K9 taking the claps. Uh Ryziel, whether you be base or Mitsurugi, yeah, that takes a hit. Yummy got a good thrashing and they needed it. But with one obedience school, that just leaves the floor open for Marshmallow to come in here. So, yeah. The one solemn judgment is gonna hurt. Like, I get it, weaponizing life points. I think the deck that's gonna hate that the most is Dynamorphia. But they're used to paying life points in half with everything else that they have, so no skin off their back. Herald of the Art like sucks. Linkaribo is great. Uh, that paid for its sins. So Malice losing Splash Mage, but gaining Linkaribo is all the extra decks gaining Linkaribo that play level ones is great. Then again, Linkaribo is a Link 1, and Yummy can use that. So Linkaribo just might be biting, might be paying for some more sins in the winter. And then the Snake Eyes Duelists, man. And then Branded won. Branded won. But Konami really just does not want people to defend against hand traps. Like, I figured that they would limit thrust. Either cross out designator or call by would be semi-limited. One of those two. But the fact that they didn't is wild. And I think I'll be preparing to see Draco at locals. Leave your thoughts of the ban list in the comments section below. And I'll see you guys next time.